ever been on the receiving end of an us versus them accusation? Maybe you're even feeling it right now, the tension between two opposing forces in your world. That's what I want to talk to you about today. And I want to talk to you about the danger of getting sucked down into an us versus them attitude. I'm Vicki Haddock, authentic leadership coach and author. And this is something that I see as a pervasive and a very dangerous attitude that pops up in a lot of different areas in our world. Where does it pop up most common? Where have I seen it? Well, there's a lot. First of all, management versus employees. It's kind of like the management did this, or the corporate versus the people. That's one area. It can be, customers versus the business. It can be authority figures versus followers. You can think about, those people have all the power to make all the decisions because they're in a place of authority, and we, the peons or the people, don't have any control at all. Political parties. I mean, wow, you can see that one without even having to try to in our culture today. And there's no political party in our US based system that is not guilty of creating an us versus them atmosphere. Religion creates an extreme us versus them atmosphere. It could be the broader sects of various religions, or it could be the different denominations within religions. And then it also becomes the religion, the people who feel that they have the magic pill of religion versus those who they perceive to not have the magic pill of religion. And then we can think about race and culture. Very powerful. We've seen that play out in the dynamics of our nation and other nations. We think about sex. We have males versus females. I mean, this could play out in your neighbors. It could be like we have the good neighbors and we have the bad neighbors. And it can play out within families, right? Think about people who, oh, they're the black sheep of the family, or, oh, there's we want to be on this side of the family or not that side. So those are just some examples. I'm sure that you can fill in the blank with a number of your own examples as well. Well, I want to talk to you about the dangers of developing an us versus them attitude. Besides the chaos that it creates, and the anger and the strife and the hurt feelings that that continue to build and build, on a fundamental level, an us versus them attitude separates versus unites. Anytime you sense that you have this attitude in you of there's some sort of division between you and someone else, that's a separating factor. It presupposes a judgment of the other, of the them, right? There is some type of judgment at play that is right or wrong or good or bad about the other that is automatically assumed in an us versus them attitude. It is dismissive and demeaning because in majority of cases, there's not any evidence or proof of the us versus them, of the way that we have begin to think about it. Now, the danger is when we've allowed ourselves to be conditioned to think in a certain way, we can fall into the trap of believing there is proof. So if you belong to a group of people who has an identity that somebody is out to get you, then you're going to be looking for, your thinking already is tainted to look for people who are out to get you. If you are a person who's been victimized by a corporate decision in the past, you can begin to feel like, corporate is out to get you. And we have to be aware of those thinking patterns. And it can stem at times from maybe there was one instance where somebody did something that was harmful, and now we've generalized that to an entire group of people, or as we looked at the different ways, the us versus them, we've generalized that instead of looking at it specifically. It's built on misperceptions, right? It's the stories that we've told ourselves so many times that we now believe that they're true. Those stories possibly could even be rooted in your previous generation of how you were raised. And they've been told over and over so many times that now you don't even question whether they're true or not, or where they came from, but you just assume that it's true without intelligently questioning what you're choosing to believe. That's a very, very dangerous um, thought pattern or cognitive distortion. And it's a cognitive distortion that people who have a malintentive or a desire to control and manipulate will exploit people and groups of people who have had conditioned thinking processes over time that predispose them to a certain way of believing. And what happens then is we lose sight of what the truth really is, what the truth of the experience of the other person really is. And most times it's also a case in perspective, because we gain perspective through the experiences that we have. And until you become flexible and open-minded enough to step out of your own experiences to see how you were shaped by your own experiences and be open to learning from other people's perspectives, how they see things differently because of the experiences that they've had, we will be in this lack of understanding of each other and in an us versus them attitude that separates and causes a lot of friction. It removes also the danger of this us versus them attitude is it removes the human aspect and generalizes behavior. And it also presupposes that you are the one who has the answer or the solution to their problem, that you have all the answers and they are in need of your solution. So those things that apply at different levels in all the ways that we spoke of earlier. So how do we move away from us versus them thinking? We want to move towards we thinking. The entire nation, the entire population of our world is composed of people that have two legs, two arms, for the most part, and a human body with a heart that beats, a nervous system that functions pretty much the same, and a mind and a wise inner part of us that all functions the same. That's our commonality, right? And we all, as a human race, have that in common. We all have in common that we want to be happy and safe and loved. And pretty much everything else in our belief system is shaped by the country you were born into, the economic status that you were born into, the education opportunities that you've had, the religion that you might have been exposed to or influenced by, and the people around you. the type of government that you grew up under. So all of these things are conditioning us to respond in certain ways. So moving to we means we have to challenge ourselves to drop judgment, to drop all judgment. Judgment of self, judgment of others, and judgment of situations. And we have to, instead of judging, we have to begin to get curious, and we have to begin to ask, I wonder why that person sees things the way that they do. I wonder what they can see that I can't from my perspective. One great way to do this is getting to know someone on a personal basis that you once considered a them, and doing that not in a way to win them over to your side or to judge them if they're not on your side, but in a way to really get to know them as a human being and get to know why they think the way they do and what has led them to be in the situations and and make the decisions that they've made, and respect that person as a whole human being that's capable of making great decisions for themselves, instead of seeing them as a flawed or um, um, something less than. We have to begin to think of people and respect the whole person of who they are. I'm remembering, as I said before, that your beliefs are a product of the country you were born in, the religion you were raised in, the culture you were steeped in, the sex that you are, all shape your experiences and your lens of life. So getting to know someone is great. And what we're looking for then is common ground. How do we build common ground? When I work with conflict resolution with people in the workplace and personal relationships, it's all going back to what's the common ground that we all can agree on. And then if we can stand on that common ground, how do we move forward from there? And here's something really important. Take care of your own house first, right? I think this is so key. We want to go out and fix everybody else's houses and tell them, you know, the right way to do things when we've got trash in our own house to take out. So start with your own house and look inside. Look inside. This is something I do on a regular basis, and am constantly being challenged to drop new layers of unhelpful behavior or judgments against myself or others. In fact, a way I've been challenged around this is one of the reasons I'm making this video today. Be curious, be kind, and be curious. What can the other person see from their perspective that you can't see? And be careful about prescribing your medicine for others. Because the thing that you see as the medicine, the magic pill that's going to fix someone else, it might be your magic pill, but that doesn't mean it's the magic pill for everyone else. In fact, begin to think about how is your medicine or your solution that you want to prescribe to others a deeply conditioned response to the beliefs that you were steeped in. Had you been born in another era, another country, another culture, you most likely would be prescribing a different medicine. So these are some thoughts. I would love for you to leave me a comment, leave me a thought, and or even let me know about a situation where you have spotted your own judgments. I don't really care about any, you can skip leaving any comments about blaming any other people or anything else. I'm only interested in how you're taking this into heart and applying it for yourself today. So, all right, thanks for being here today and being along with me on this topic about the us versus them attitude and how we can move it from an us versus them to a we attitude. Take care and be well until the next time we cross paths.